Very good evening, sir. Very good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Sir, we'll start. 1 minute to go. Exact 7 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
We are just standing by so that we can start on time. That's good. Few seconds. We'll start, sir. Sir, your surname and my first name is same. Rajkumar, sir.
Oh,
Good, nice. Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Okay, time is 7 o'clock. Very good evening, everyone. So, on behalf of MTC Global, I heartily welcome all of you for today's research development program. And we have with us Dr. Shalini Agarwal, ma'am, who is a professor of finance, prestigious Chandigarh University. Ma'am, welcome. And we have many participants. I think there is some problem, network connection. We have many participants, those who had joined our earlier programs, and we can see that no majority of them are today also present, including no Professor Rajkumar. I think he was also no joined our previous programs. So it's always no good. That means no we say in marketing, okay, if you know if people are happy with our service, they appreciate and they engage. Okay, I'm not talking in some other terms. They engage and they take the relationships forward. I think that's what okay, what is happening here. And I won't take much time. Thank you so much, and thank you, ma'am, for being with us. I request Salini ma'am to please take it forward. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Very good evening to one and all present here. So let me start with the today's session. So so we have multiple topics today, right? So there are we are having t-test, we are having ANOVA, we having conjoint analysis, thesis writing, and synopsis, right? So, what I plan to start with today is uh, t-test, ANOVA, synopsis, right? So, this is what, because analysis, conjoint analysis is a very big, it takes a lots and lots of time. When we talk about conjoint analysis, it takes a lots and lots of time, right? So what my plan is to start with today these topic first three, and if the time permits we can start with the thesis as well. So this is what the sequence is going to be for today's session. I hope my voice is clear and my screen is also clear to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. So let's start with this, right? So let's start with the t-test first. Let's start with the t-test first. Before starting with the t-test, let me tell you there are different types of variables, right? There are different type of scales. Are you people aware of this? There is a nominal scale, there is an ordinal scale,
Yes, ma'am.
there is a ratio scale, and there is an interval scale, right? So now, first of all, we are going to talk about t-test. And before that, we must know what are the different types of scales. So nominal scale, ordinal, ratio, and interval. So let me talk a little about this. So the normal way to measure, like let's say if we want to measure the height, weight, right? So what is the scale that we are using in this? Ratio scale or interval scale?
Ratio scale.
है ना? Which scale?
Ratio.
Ratio. Good, very good. So it is a ratio scale, right? So let me understand if we have to interval scale. So anybody who can give me an example of the interval scale?
Ma'am, interval is from 0 to 10, 10 to 20.
Yes, very right. So this will start from 0 to n number, right? So this is यहाँ पे addition, subtraction and all that is possible. So when we are talking about ratio or interval, so यहाँ this is a normal thing, right? Height को we can measure, height with the help of a scale, centimeter scale, inches scale, weight ko also you can measure, right? But now let's move to these two scales. These are very different kind of scales, ordinal scale and nominal scale. So when we talk about the nominal scale, let me give an example onto this. Uh, if I say, rate which car do you like, and I give you an options: Mercedes, Honda, um, Tata, right? So what you will be doing is you will be rating these cars. Like you will give number 1, number 2, number 3, right? So you will be rating these cars, which is the car that you like the most. So this kind of scale is called as a nominal scale, jahan par we do the rating. I hope both the languages is okay. English, Hindi mix is okay with all. Any person who is there who doesn't understand in Hindi,
I don't
mixed.
understand, ma'am.
You don't understand. Okay, so okay, so let me repeat this again. So what I am talking about, that is a ratio scale, right? Next is the interval scale. Here it is easy or it is possible to add, subtract, possible है, right? It is easy for you to add or subtract, and this is a normal scales, right? But there is another type of scale. One scale is called as a nominal scale. The example of the nominal scale is, rate which car do you like. If I ask you this thing, let's say if there is a person who said this is number 1 for me, and for me this is number 2, and for me this is number 3. So you are giving only the rating, right? So this kind of a scale is called as the nominal scale. Last kind of a scale is called as the ordinal scale. Ordinal scale में uh, when you uh, when you want to measure, the height or weight, so you have scales. But when you want to measure human feelings, so which scale do you use? Ordinal scale में we normally use the Likert scale. Let me repeat this again. What is an ordinal scale? When we want to measure the human feelings, we have Likert scale. Likert scale has 5 options. Let's say, uh, not, एक minute, very dissatisfied,
Agree, disagree, I think.
dissatisfied.
Yes.
I think somebody's mic is on. Please switch on your mic. Satisfied and very satisfied. So, when we want to measure ordinal scale, I'm giving you an example of an ordinal scale. When you want to measure human feelings, we use some kind of Likert scale. So this is 5-point Likert scale, right? So one of the way of classifying it to understand the human feeling is very dissatisfied, neutral, satisfied, and very satisfied. So you give number 1. When you are using a Likert scale, always give smaller number to the this very dissatisfied, 3 to this, 4 to this, and 5 to this, like this. The higher number should be given to very satisfied or the positive side, right? So this is how you measure the human feelings, right? So this kind of a scale is called as the ordinal scale. When I allow you to rate something, when one person allow you to rate something, so normally the scale that we use is the nominal scale, and this is an example of it, right? When we measure the height, when we measure the height, weight, which we can add or subtract, so that is called as a ratio or the interval scale. That is a normal scale, right? But these are a little typical to handle, right? So let's now move to the, I hope this is clear to all. Everybody is clear with this kind of scales?
Yes, ma'am.
Please raise your hand.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So let's move to the t test now. The t test begins here now. T test is of three types, but the most important is independent sample t-test. So this is the most important that we use, right? And when do we use? So I will tell you when do we use it, and what are the conditions for using this t-test, right? So please be with me, all of you. So let's say the monthly income. You have two variables, monthly income and gender. Uh, Let me write gender here, in fact. Monthly income, let's say there is an organization and the monthly income of the employees is 20,000. One employee is 20,000. Let's say he is female. Next, 10,000. He is a male. Next here, 15,000, 14,000. And he's again a male. So here, what we are trying to see, we have two variables with us. One is monthly income, another is the gender, right? So you want to see, person wants to see, is there any significant difference between the income and the gender? It means what? It means if a person is a male, is he getting more salary? Is a person is, or there is no difference in the income of male or female? Is there any significant difference between the income and gender? This is my first question, right? क्या मेल और फीमेल की सैलरी में कोई फर्क है? This is only a very small sample size that I have taken. It might be more sample, right? This is one example. What can be another example? Let me take you to this gender. This can be another example, that is marks obtained in one subject of two sections. Marks obtained in, this is the subject name, that is business research. These are the marks and these are the two sections. So a teacher wants to say, see if the class A is intelligent than class B. So there are only two sections. Just please understand what we are trying to see here. Between two sections or between two sect, either be we have two types of people, right? So monthly income and gender. So this is one example. Another example is marks obtained in business research subject with respect to two sections. So the teacher wants to see whether the students of this section A or B is more intelligent, A is more intelligent or B is intelligent, or is there no significant difference in the marks of two section, right? So this is a question or a query. The teacher wants to understand this in that case. And here the teacher wants, the manager wants to understand, is there any significant difference between the salary of male or female? So this is our question. Right. So, what do you observe from here? You observe that monthly income is a ratio or variable. Scale. Gender is a nominal variable, right? Can you see this? In this case, also, let me write it there only. This is another question. So, marks obtained, if we write ratio or interval scale, and second sections is your nominal scale. I hope this is getting clear to all. Any problem, any question till now? ये सबको समझ में आ रही हैं चीजें? Because these are the basics of the things that we are doing.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
There is somebody who's saying something. I am assisting someone. I don't know.
Ma'am, I have one question. T-test is only used when there will be two variables.
Yes, ma'am. हाँ जी,
Okay.
दीदी जी. Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, in regular usages, do we use these Likert scales as ordinal, or most of the studies I've seen people using or treating it as an interval scale? So,
With general scale? No, I'm not able to understand. Can you be a little louder?
yeah, the Likert scale that we use,
Yes.
is it actually an ordinal scale or interval scale? Because
Ordinal scale.
I've
No,
seen
no, it's an
people
ordinal.
treating it as interval scale in many studies. So, is it accepted, or do we treat it only as ordinal scale?
Ordinal scale.
Ordinal scale. Okay.
Actually, no. Actually, I think there is some confusion. You see, we are trying to do is we are just trying to look at this. You are trying to measure the human feelings or the
Okay.
values.
Okay.
So, when you are trying to do that, this is called as an ordinal scale.
Okay.
Have you got my point?
Yes, ma'am. But many studies I've seen people using, even in wherever we are using these t-test and all those, the dependent variable coming from these kind of questions. So that was why I was confused.
No. It is an ordinal scale, this one.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is, so this is a section is on nominal scale, right? So,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, independent sample t-test is used for only two variables.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Variables, or even here, it has to be a classification of two.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
an okay.
yeah,
This is an dependent variable.
yeah.
Marks obtained is also called as the dependent variable, right? And this section here is called as the independent variable, right? And this has to be, the one has to be, when we are talking about the t-test, right? So one variable will be your ratio or interval scale, and another will be your nominal categorical variable. Categorical variable यहाँ पर है. So when we are using, just look at this. Okay. So data requirement dependent variable, that is continuous, dependent variable, independent variable, that is categorical. So here you can see here the independent variable. This is independent variable. How this is the salary of the employees, right? So these people are getting the salaries, and we have to see whether the gender makes an impact on the salary. Is there any significant difference on the salary of the employees based on the gender? This is what I'm trying to find out, right? So gender is an independent variable, and this is a dependent variable. So this is dependent, this is dependent on this. There is a salary, right? This is a ratio scale, continuous scale. So this is dependent upon gender, right? So this is independent variable or this is dependent. So what is the requirement for the t test or ANOVA? The dependent variable, let's say this is the dependent variable, that has to be continuous, that is interval or ratio scale, and the other variable has to be independent variable, has to be categorical. Categorical can be your uh, nominal or ordinal data, right? And one more important thing, independent variable has to be categorized only in two categories. Please understand, this variable, the independent variable, can be categorized only in two variables, right? So so now this is what are the different conditions for doing the for testing the t-test, right? Now we have all the conditions, so let's move to the hypothesis. Now hypothesis means like we are using, please switch off your mobiles, all of you. Everybody please switch off your mobile, oh sorry, switch off yourself. Somebody's mic is on, please switch it off. Okay, so let's move to the hypothesis testing, right? So we will be doing now hypothesis testing. When we are applying this t-test using SPSS, so we have to have two hypotheses. This is called as the null hypothesis. One is called as the null hypothesis, and H1 is called as the alternate hypothesis, right? One
Ma'am,
will be.
ma'am, I have a question.
Anji.
One question. जो independent sample test t test के अंदर part था, the t test is the part. Then the paired sample test.
वो अभी
is
नहीं कर रहे हैं हम, राजकुमार सर वो नहीं कर रहे अभी.
okay मैम, okay.
We are
नहीं
not talking about right now about
नो, तो
this.
ये दोनों के अंदर ये जो correlations तो नहीं आते ना मैम?
नहीं नहीं कुछ वो नहीं है. There's nothing like that.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
this is the most important test. आप इसी पे concentrate कीजिए.
जी जी जी.
Null hypothesis always says there is no significant difference between the marks, और हम इसको salary वाला कर रहे थे, between the salary of males and females. Alternate क्या होगा? It will be the reverse of it. There is a significant difference between the salary of males and females, right? So we have two hypotheses for we will get some results with respect to the t-test in SPSS, right? So we will get either of the hypotheses true. So null hypothesis is there is no significant difference between the salary of males and females, and alternate will be the opposite of it. There is a significant difference between the salary of males and females. So this is your hypothesis testing. So if the results may, how will you see? If p value is greater than 0.05, right? So you will accept null hypothesis. If p value is the opposite, if p value is less than 0.05, so you accept alternate. This is what is the results for it. Results may, let me repeat this again. So what will be the this thing? Null hypothesis will be there is no significant difference between the salary of males and females. It means what? uh, Whether a person is a male or female, they are getting any amount of salary, right? Alternate hypothesis says there is a significant difference between male or female. If you are a male, so you are getting more salary, and there is a significant difference between the salary of male and female, right? And how do you know? How, what will you see? You will see the p value. I'll show you how you do that. So you will see the p value. If the p value is greater than 0.05, you accept the null hypothesis. If p value is less than 0.05, so you accept the alternate hypothesis, right? So let's start with an example. This is my t-test. I'm just opening it. Wait. I wanted to share this with you all, but unless and until you don't have SPSS in your laptops, मैं बट आपको इसको एक्सेल में दे सकती हूँ. Do you people have the SPSS in your laptops? So I can share this file with you.
Yes,
और ये
ma'am.
Yes,
मुझे
ma'am. We have.
चलो I'll share it later on. अभी तो मुझे नहीं लग रहा. या भोलानाथ sir, are you there? Sir, are you there? चलो anyways I'll send you later on. Right. इसमें ना what I have done is
Hello.
you just see to it. हाँ जी.
Yes, ma'am. बोलिए मैम.
मैं मेल करूं अभी आपको अगर आप कर पाओगे
हाँ
स्टूडेंट्स को.
हाँ 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 कर दीजिए मैम.
ओके सर मैं आपको मेल कर
ओके
देती हूँ.
मैम.
एक
डन
मिनट
डन.
दीजिए. सर आपका ईमेल एड्रेस है जब
बी
है
नॉट.
हाँ जी हाँ जी.
मैं व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में दे दूं और ईमेल में भेजूं मैम.
सर वो व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में ना हो नहीं पाया. आई ट्राइड दैट बिकॉज उसमें
अच्छा
स्पेसेस में ना खुला नहीं.
ठीक है
आपको
ठीक
ये
है
मेल ही करना पड़ेगा.
ठीक है मैम.
सो आई एम सेंडिंग दिस फाइल.
ओके मैम.
जी मैंने भेज दिया सर आपको.
ठीक है मैम. थैंक यू.
Okay. So, anyways, just look at this, my file. So, I have written everything over here as well. In these columns, I have written here everything. Hypothesis, there is no significant difference between the salary of males and females. There is a if p-value is greater, then accept null. Otherwise, accept alternate hypothesis, right? So, यहाँ पर we have, okay. So, I think everybody knows how to add these variables here. Or should I tell you once again? So like we have two variables here. So one is the monthly salary. So this is one monthly salary. Oh, nahi aayega, ek minute. Monthly salary. यहाँ पे what we can do is MS we can write it here, right? And gender we can write, right? So these are the two variables. So, so these are the two variables. Oh, क्या? एक minute, just give me a minute.
Ma'am, you have gender in the very sixth row.
हाँ जी. नहीं नहीं एक मिनट सर, एक मिनट दो मेरे को. अच्छा सेम वेरिएबल आ रहा है. ओके. Gender 1, let me write it here like this, right? So it is asking me what do we want in gender. न्यूमेरिक ही डालते हैं अभी, है ना? So we put it like this. And what we will be doing here is values में when we are talking about gender, so we have to define male and female. So one value is given to male. Let me add this. 2 is given to female. Right? And add and okay. Fine. And here also, here though it is not required because it is a monthly salary, but we need to put it here as monthly salary. Right? So we have two variables here. This is a gender. The scale is the nominal here, and monthly salary, the scale is scale here. यहाँ पर you have three kinds of scale, ordinal and nominal. तो interval और ratio को they consider it as a scale, and otherwise there is a ordinal or nominal. So यहाँ पे you can see gender में what we have done is we have put it here as nominal, and monthly salary. This is the monthly salary, 8th number. So we have put it here as scale, right? This is a variable view. So there are two views here. One is called as the variable view, another is called as the data view. यहाँ पर you are trying to define the variables. We are defining the variables, and data view में we are putting the data. So what is important for us? These two variables, gender and monthly salary. So these two variables are more important, and everything has been written over here. Please just look at this, right? Everything. So whatever you need, this is one thing. And this is also the file that I have shared it with you all. ये सारा इसमें what is the important data requirement, what are the examples of the t test, right? And here you can see the hypothesis as well. Hypothesis is written here as well, everything is there. So let's start how to use it. Go to analyze, compare means, go to independent sample t test. Everybody has got this data. So you click onto the independent sample t test. So test variable, that is average monthly salary. What is the second? Gender. Click onto the grouping variables. So we have two things. One is the test variable, this is the dependent, and group on which basis you have to group gender. So put it here, gender. Now define groups. It is asking 1 and 2. So we have two numbers for this. So continue. 1 is for male and 2 is for female. And okay. This is the most simple thing to be done. Just wait. Okay. So first is the T statistics. That is the results that has come. So it talks about there are 35 males in a total sample of mine. There is a, are you able to see this? Should I enlarge it? Let me put it here then. Okay. I think you are able to see. This is descriptive statistics, right? So what does it talk about? The number of male in my sample is 35 and the number of females in my sample is 32, right? These are the mean and these are the standard deviation. The less the standard deviation, the better the data is ours. Our data is better if the standard deviation is less. मतलब छोटा है ये, जितना छोटा है उतना अच्छा होता है standard deviation, right? So let's move to the another box. That is, this is the main independent sample t-test. Let me put it to the Word file. Okay. Or the results for the lower one, right? For equal variance not assumed or equal variance assumed. So for that, you have to see for the Leibniz test for equality for variance. If this value, is greater than 0.05, let me write it here. I hope everybody is able to understand. So first of all, you have to test for the Leibniz test, right? If the significant value, if p value is greater than 0.05, this value is greater than 0.05. So which value you have to see? This upper one. Go for equal variance assumed, right? So यहाँ पर this is the p value that you will see for the independent sample t test, right? So what does this talks about? यहाँ पर what is the value? What is the p value? P value is equal to 0.428, which is greater than 0.05. It means what? You accept null hypothesis. It means what? That there is no significant difference between the salary of males and female. Let me repeat this again. What I have told you is, for understanding the t test, right? So you have to, these are the three columns for the independent sample t test. So you have to choose either the above one or the lower one. Above one is for equal variance assumed and the lower one is for equal variance not assumed. So how do you decide the results will be up or down? So it depends on the Leibniz test. So if this p value is greater than 0.05, so you will be looking at this only, these values, right? So, but if this value would have been like this, 0.01, so you would have looked at these results. Equal value, variance not assumed. I hope this is clear to all. So this is how you will be using your t-test. I hope this is clear to all.
Ma'am, please repeat once again.
It is saying, okay, if you have to see for the independent sample t-test, right? So सबसे पहले what you have to see is for the Leibniz test for equality, right? So because there are two answers to it here, you can see either you can choose this one or you can choose this one, right? So which one you will be choosing? So it depends on this significant value. If this value is greater than 0.05, the answer original answer was 0.481. So if it is greater than 0.05, so you will go with this significant values, 0.428. And if it is had been, let's say 0.01, so you would have gone for this value, right? So you will be defining this value, otherwise this value. If p यहाँ पर this ये सब Leibniz test के signi p value पे depend करता है. This value is greater than 0.05, you will look at this result. If it is less than 0.01, you will look at this result. And then you will quote, if let's say 0.427, let's say this value is less than 0.01, so you will quote this value 0.427. So you will say, because it is greater than 0.05, so you will accept null hypothesis. And what is your null hypothesis? There is no significant difference between the salary of males and females, so both of them earning equally. मतलब कोई, there is no discrimination between the salary of males and females in this organization. I hope this is clear to all of you. Is
Yes,
it clear?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
let's
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
so let's move to the next point, ANOVA test. Without wasting much time, let's move to ANOVA test, right? This is almost similar, right? Now let's a simple example, same salary of employees and educational qualification. Salary, now what we are talking about is ANOVA test. So we have again two variable, one dependent and another is independent, right? So let's say first variable is salary of employees and next is educational qualification. Now we want to see, look, here the educational qualification is divided into more than two parts. Can you see to it? So it is divided into more than two parts. In t-test, this independent variable was divided only in two parts. Male, female, two sections. So when you have more than two classification of the independent variable, मतलब इसका यहाँ पर it is classified into more than two, right? So it means dependent variable. Let me put it here like this. Salary is the dependent variable. एक minute, just give me a minute. Salary is here is the dependent variable and educational qualification, education is independent, right? So what is the hypothesis that you are trying to test? Let me, एक minute, just give me a minute. So what is the hypothesis that you are trying to see here? Now, the independent variable, I will be writing independent variable, more than two parts. Then you apply ANOVA. Here again, the dependent variable, DV लिखा मैंने. Dependent variable can be continuous, variable, or ratio or interval, and independent variable will be your, what it will be? It will again be nominal or ordinal. Same almost, right? And what is your null hypothesis? Again, H0 is your null hypothesis. There is no significant difference between the educational qualification and salary. मतलब if a person is highly qualified, right? इसका ये मतलब if a person is highly qualified, does his salary more? Does he earning more? If a person is only secondary pass, is his salary less than those who are highly qualified? So when we talk about the null hypothesis, it talks about there is no significant difference between the educational qualification and salary. What is your H1? There is a significant difference.
Hello, ma'am.
हाँ जी.
Can you explain null hypothesis?
Ma'am, this is what is null. There is no you have to write there is no significant difference between educational qualification and salary. So you are having two assumptions. Hypothesis means you're having two assumptions. One will be true and one will be false. So it is the only difference between the two hypotheses is one is not significant and another one is a significant one. That's it.
Ma'am, three types of hypotheses: positive, negative, and null. Can any difference between negative and null hypothesis?
हाँ मैम दो ही हाइपोथेसिस सुने मैंने तो आज तक.
Positive and null.
Ma'am, I have heard, what I have heard is there is no significant difference between the positive or negative nahi hai, ma'am. There is a significant difference or no significant difference.
Okay.
There is a significant difference. Matlab, what we are trying to say is कि if a person is more highly qualified, is his salary different from the person who is less educated? So significant difference, this is what we are trying to find out. Positive or negative is in regression. Regression may we try to find that out. We try to see like the price of the demand and price and demand. आप वो जो बात कर रहे हो ना प्राइस और डिमांड positive correlation. Positive correlation, no correlation, that is what you are talking about, I think. यहाँ पे तो हम सिर्फ significant difference निकालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं मैम. I hope I answered your question. हाँ जी. So let's proceed ahead. Right. So let me take you to this example of mine. This one, right? So again, there is an educational background. So what we have done here is, so again, there are two variables, educational. So what I have written here is in the values, I have put 1 for illiterate, 2 for primary pass, 3 is secondary pass, 4 is graduate, and 5th is postgraduate. And then I've clicked OK. I hope this is, everybody knows these things. ये तो पता है ना सभी को? Or do you want me to explain this in depth?
Yes, ma'am, we know.
है ना? So, because when we talk about SPSS, so there are two views, variable view and data view. Data is with respect to the data of the people that you have taken, you have collected. And variable, so you are defining the two variables here. One is education of that person and the monthly income. So for this, you have to define the this thing, the educational qualification, right? And the scale for this is nominal, and for monthly salary the scale is scale, right? So data view, right? So these are the two variables, and everything I have written here to find whether educational qualification is impacting the monthly salary or not. Hypothesis, null hypothesis is there is no significant difference, and alternate there is a significant difference. Again, the p value is greater than except null, otherwise except alternate. Everything is written into this SPSS file as well, right? So you won't find much of the difficulty. Even the notes that I have given, everything is there here. I have shared this in the WhatsApp group to you, right? So you can see from here. So let's move to this example. So what we will be go to analyze, compare means, one way ANOVA. Please have a look at this. Go to analyze, compare means and one way ANOVA. Let me click onto this. Okay, I've already put, let me reset this. So we have educational qualification. So again, educational qualification, what I have said is educational qualification is an independent variable. It will go into the factor. This is the factor, right? And average monthly income will be your dependent variable, right? Let's go to options here. So click onto the descriptive, homogeneity, Welch, and mean plot. I'll tell you later on. Then continue OK. Then go for post hoc test. Post hoc test में Tukey's test we normally do that. इसमें this also test. इसमें again there are 2 points: equal variance assumed and equal variance not assumed. So we continue on to this and click on OK. So you'll see the results. Let me okay, so this is the output will be there. Okay. So this is the output. This is the first table is that of the, let me, okay, put it here only. So this is my first table, descriptive, right? So this is the first table that you will be talking about in your data, in your analysis part. So you can see how many people in a sample set of yours. The total sample set is 67. This is only for an example that I have taken. The illiterate people is 15. The people who have primary education 25, secondary education 24, and graduate only 3. So this is the first result that you will be talking about. Next is your again this is the Levin's test. Please understand. So again there is the another test that you will be talking about is the Levin's, right? Okay, so in even in that case, above example, so we talked about the Levin's test first, right? And we saw the significant value here. So again, we will be talking about the Levin's test, and if this value is greater than 0.05, which is there, so we will be talking about this table, ANOVA table. This, right? So we will check the result for this table. This is the ANOVA table. So we will be seeing the result for this, and this is the significant value you will be talking about. So this value is greater than 0.878, right? So what does it mean? It means, what does it mean? It shows we accept null hypothesis. If p-value is greater than 0.05, we accept null hypothesis. What is your null hypothesis? There is no significant difference between education and month salary. ये सबको समझ आया?
Yes,
Is this clear to all?
yes, ma'am.
Any doubts, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Great. So this is another test, and that is called as ANOVA, right? So let's move to the next important topic. And I hope the next important topic is, should we go with synopsis writing now? I told you even before that we'll be talking about the conjoint analysis tomorrow, because that is a little technical and that is very time consuming. So, matlab, I think it will take a huge amount of our time. So, I'll go with that by tomorrow itself. I hope that is okay with all.
मैम प्लीज लेवनेस टेस्ट एक बार फिर से बता दीजिए.
ANOVA में.
This is your Lebanese test.
Yes, ma'am.
Just look at this. यहाँ पर ये दिखा रहा है ना, test of homogeneity of variance. Can you see? Let me take it to that document. This one, right? Let me increase the font size. Look at this. If this value is greater than 0.05, right? So you will see which table? You will see ANOVA table. If this value is less than 0.05, which table you will see? Welch test. You will see this table. Let me take all the tables there. Let me put it there. Close it down. So there are 3 tables. Let me show you that. So there are 3 tables, right? So first of all, what is required to be checked? This is the significant value, Lebanese test. Again, this is what you have to check. If this significant, this is a p value, significant value. If this value is more than 0.05, so you will go with the results of this table, that is ANOVA table. And you will see this significant value, 0.878. If this value is greater than 0.05, so you will accept the null hypothesis. What you will do is accept null hypothesis, right? And if this value, let's say, is less than 0.04, है ना, 0.05 से it is less, so you will see the results of this table, not the ANOVA table. This Welch table, this is the result, this is the table, then you will see, and this is the significant value you will go for, right? So these are the 3 tables that is important when you are talking about the ANOVA test.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? So let's move to the next topic of our today's, that is synopsis writing, right? I hope everybody is interested in understanding this topic, that is synopsis writing. So I have also shared in the WhatsApp group one of my students' PhD synopsis topic as well into this. So let me take you to that.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hanji.
Ma'am, in ANOVA test, we choose different kind of test before the different kind of test. On what basis we choose those tests?
What test, ma'am?
मैम अनोवा टेस्ट में जब आपने उसको टेबल ओपन किया
we
था
normally take about the Tukey's test only. That is the easiest and the good for us. वो हमें results ठीक देते हैं, तो हम normally Tukey's test को ही select करते हैं उसमें.
ओके मैम, कोई डिफरेंस होता है कि किस बेसिस पे कौन सा टेस्ट चूज करना है, या फिर हमेशा हम टुकीज टेस्ट ही चूज करते हैं?
Tukey's test, I have always done that only.
ओके मैम, थैंक यू.
So let's move to the synopsis writing. Let me take you to the synopsis. I will be taking you a step-by-step guide to writing synopsis. Right? So be with me. This is the main topics of the synopsis. This is the main content, When we are talking about synopsis, so synopsis may first is the introduction about the topic. Second is the review of literature. Okay, so please, यहाँ पे just pay your attention towards this. सबसे important part होता है to set the objective, right? Objective setting. इसको मैं ना थोड़ा सा I would like to explain this a little bit more. मतलब objective, only objective, even if I write. Just give me a minute. Objective setting, ये एक बहुत बहुत important part होता है when we are talking about this. मुझे एक minute, just give me a minute. This is something important that I have to take. Can I take that?
Yes,
मुझे
ma'am.
बस एक minute दे दीजिए, एक minute, just give me a minute. Sorry for this. So, okay, so I would like to tell you something, how to set the objective, right? This is the most important part and review of literature. What my suggestion to all of you would be, ki, let's say my student's topic was, let's say, impact investing, right? तो when you are setting the objective, please ये चीज ध्यान से करें एक बार. This is the most and the crucial part of it. Like in our university, we do have a Scopus database, right? So what I tell to my students, PhD scholars as well. So let's say my topic is impact investing, right? So you know what you have to do. What I'm trying to tell you is how to find out the research gap, and then setting the objective of your thesis. This is the topic that I'm trying to tell you, how to find the research gap and then setting the objective of your thesis, right? So let's say my topic is based on impact investing. That is the broader area I have in my mind, that I will be doing my research on this topic that is called as impact investing. So you know how you should find out the research gap. So let me take you, this is a Scopus database. So Scopus database is a paid database, right? And some of your organizations might be having it, but not most of them. So what you have to do is you try to find out, you put this as an impact investing. This is, it can be all the search keyword impact investor, or people can be writing how the different people can write this word impact investment, right? Let me repeat this again. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, when you are doing a synopsis writing, when you are deciding which topic you want to go for, and uske andar how to find out the research gap from the work, from the previous work, and then setting your own objective of your thesis. So this is the main crux of your thesis, right? So this is the main thing that you must be very cautious about. So let's say you are wanted to do, you wanted to write your thesis on the topic that is called as an impact investing, right? So just go for the keyword search. Like this is one keyword impact investing. It can be impact investor, impact investment, right? So or impact, it can be like this investment, right? So all these search keywords, you put it here and click on to the word search. So we are waiting for this. How many papers of our will come out? So 989 documents, right? So what you will be doing is you try to, like, we want only the articles, we want only from our stream, that is business management and accounting, limit to. So let's see how many of the papers that come out to be. Okay, 305 documents come. So let me put it here. uh, Final articles, and then again limit to. Language also we can put this thing here. Language, I need only English. So let's close it. So how many papers do I have got? Just we are getting this right to 269 documents that we have got. Now, my submission to all of you here is, so go for all these papers. Just check out the abstract of all these papers, right? And there are some papers. This paper is called, can you see? This paper is open access. So if an article is open access, what does it mean? It means anybody can see this article without paying any cost, right? So this is article is open access. So what you can do, select all, export this into a CSV file, all the documents, right? Uh, documents 1 to 269, you can put it here. ये सबको समझ में आ रहा है? Are you all getting at this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, have a question. If I get the old paper, should I refer it or no?
What?
There will be a paper which is from 2001 or 2010. Should I
Yes,
refer
yes,
it
you
or
have to
no?
refer. Yes, yes, you need to refer that. Bilkul, you have to do that. So what you will be doing is you export these all the paper information 269. Now, you know, you are writing a thesis, right? So the most important thing is to read all these papers, all the papers that you have got. Just read the abstract of all these papers, right? And this is the CSV file that I've got from here. Let me take you to here in my downloads. So this is the Scopus file. Let me open this for you. Now, when you are setting your objective, now the most important thing is to read these papers, to read all these abstract. Here is a column that talks about abstract. Copy this abstract from here and put it here. So you can see you have got the abstract, all the abstracts over here. So what is your duty? Your duty is to understand and to see what all of the people they have done. On the basis of this, you know, if you like this paper and you think there must be some model into it, what you have to do is you copy that model as it is. Please, what I'm trying to tell you, let me take you to the first paper, which is open access. Open access paper uh, can be seen by anyone without paying any cost. I don't know why it is not opening up, maybe some other reason. कोई और reason होगा, I don't know what is why it is not opening up, but otherwise open access articles, they get easily opened up, right? So what you have to see, this is another article on this. Let me check this as well. Network issues may be there, I don't know. Chalo, anyways, so what you have to do is, if there is any model, let me tell you this, if there is any model, so what you need to do is you just यहाँ पे there is an option that is called as a print screen, and यहाँ पर you copy it here. So let me show you one of my students paper that has a model into it. So let me take you to her. This is the paper of my student Prerna, the synopsis that I have shown it to you. Let me show you this. Let me open it, her paper. Okay, so you can see this is the paper, right, of one of the students. And if you want to download it, you can download this paper as well. You will be able to see this paper, right? Let me open this as well. Journal of Business Venturing Inside, anyways. So, okay, let me take you to my student's paper. So, you know, what she has done, on the basis of the past paper, she has made a model. Let me show you this. Look at this. So, this is a model that is required in your synopsis as well. This is the with the help of the literature review, by reading these papers, by reading all these papers. So what she has done, my student, she has set her objective like this. So let me take you to her objective. This is the most important part. This is the most important part of anybody's synopsis, right? Let me show you what she has done. So she has, look at this. So she has set four objectives, right? She has set four objectives on the topic that is impact investing. She completed her thesis last year only. So she has set these four objectives. I have already shared this file with all of you in the WhatsApp group, because her thesis is already submitted. So, you can see on the basis of the research gap. So how did she find out the research gaps? By doing the literature review. So this is the most important part when you are writing your synopsis. The most important part is to read the previous literature, and on the basis of the previous literature, you try to make a model, or you try to make some model for your thesis, right? So she has set certain objective. For this second objective, or पता नहीं third objective, this is the model for her paper, right? Okay, अच्छा, इसमें भी she has given it. Synopsis में भी she has given the models. This is her first model on the basis of the past: financial factor, social factor, personal and motivational. Second research model is this. Third model, this is a conjoint analysis. Okay, so let me tell you. So what she has done on first two objectives, first objective was done on SLR. Next two objective were based on PLSM, and last objective was on conjoint analysis. This is on conjoint analysis. So tomorrow we'll be talking about conjoint analysis, right? And on the basis of that, there is a hypothesis as well. There are different hypotheses that she has identified on the basis of these models. So my request to all of you is कि when you are writing the synopsis, you do your part properly. This is the most important thing. On the basis of the past studies, like the Scopus database, we have find out 269 papers. So you read all those papers, and if any paper is having any model, you just try to see to those models. ये paper download हुआ या नहीं? Let me check. नहीं, पेपर डाउनलोड हो जाएगा, बट दैट विल बी वेरी इजी. Some internet issues must be there, right? So you download these papers if it is open access, right? And then start reading those papers. If you'll read those papers, then you'll understand what are the tools and techniques they have applied. Similarly, this is the model she has applied. So you can refer her models as well for this topic that is called as an impact investing. So similarly, if you want to go for any other topic, all of you, right? So what you have to do is you need to see the models like this. You control print screen here and put it into this file and send it to your guide for this like this. So this is a model. Don't send anything else. Like, this is the way you have to click onto the models, the previous researches. So make use of this and start doing this. Like, सबको क्लियर है यहाँ तक? Please raise your hand if it is clear. Is it clear?
Ma'am, to do that model.
I'm not able to understand. Can you be a little, voice is breaking.
Any software is used to do that type of models, ma'am?
Models? I'm not able to understand. मतलब
Ma'am, he is asking that we have to use any type of software to make that model, or like.
हाँ, actually मतलब ये वाले मॉडल्स तो नॉर्मली उसमें किया हुआ है ना, पेंट वगैरह में. पेंट जो सॉफ्टवेयर है, उसके अंदर बन जाएगा ये. Or baki, when you give these models to the when your paper got accepted, so they finalize the journal, they finalize your models, and you can also finalize these as a pictures in three ye paint and all that, ये softwares है ना, उसमें you can finalize it. You have to make it, and then you just make it with the help of text में, इसमें भी use बन जाते हैं, models can be made here as well, यहाँ भी
MS
बन जाएंगे आपके model. फिर उसके बाद आप उसको फाइनलाइज करते हो, रिफाइन करते हो विद हेल्प ऑफ सम सॉफ्टवेयर. यस.
And ma'am, like if we have done the literature review, then from that we have to make a strong model, or we can take exact from the literature
No, no,
and
no, 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 no.
include.
You cannot take exact from the literature. What is new that you will be doing? So this is
Yeah,
why what I'm
yes.
trying to tell you, ki you take the help of previous models, and on the basis of the previous model you design what is the research gap. So you have to see, let's say she has not taken one variable, right? So you can take another variable here, and let's say you want to connect it with sustainability. She has not connected this model with sustainability, and you want to connect, so you can keep this as a mediator moderator to her model, something like that. So this will make your model a different model, a different from the previous model. That is why we go for the review of literature. Asha ji, can you please switch off your mic?
Ma'am, I had one question, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
आई थिंक किसी की आवाज वो हो रही थी. आशा जी आप ही की हो रही है, आप ना लिख के बता दीजिए. हाँ जी विनीता जी आप बताइए.
Yeah, ma'am. Where can we get this paper, ma'am? Particularly that paper.
Which paper?
You have shown that one module, no, ma'am?
So this is the synopsis that I have given of my student, that is there in it.
Okay. Is it not possible to send that, ma'am?
It is there na. I'm acha paper you want me to send?
Yeah,
I'll
this
send you.
yeah.
This is what I have already shared with you on WhatsApp group. Synopsis na, there is a model over here.
Okay, ma'am.
You can see all her models here.
Okay, ma'am.
And if you want, I can send the paper as well on impact investing. I can WhatsApp.
Yeah, I need that paper also. Please share in a group, ma'am.
I'll share that. Don't worry.
Okay,
After the class, I'll do that. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Sure. Thank you.
Ma'am, can you resend this everything, because we just recently joined the WhatsApp group, so I'm not able to get that old data.
Okay, I'll share that. Fine, I'll
Thank you,
do that.
ma'am.
Hanji, any other question? I hope this point is clear to all, right? So this is called as the called as the review of literature and finding the research gap on the basis of the, if you propose certain models, like just look at this. So she has 4 objectives for impact investing, and for all the objectives she has made a temporary models. Matlab, so this is what she is going to do in each of the objective. So she is very clear in her mind what is she going to do when she is going to write her thesis. So this is her objectives. These are our objectives, and on the basis of the objective she has proposed the models, proposed model and hypothesis on the basis of these models. So this is the most important part of your research, of your synopsis, right? Because if you are very clear what you are going to do, so that will help you. And one more thing I would like to suggest you, to go for systematic literature review. First paper that you the topic that you are selecting, so go for the systematic literature review on that paper, because it will give you an in-depth idea. Go for ADO model. So like यहाँ पर तो नहीं होगा, but ADO model, if you go for the ADO model, that is the in SLR. I hope you people understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about systematic literature review. If you go for systematic literature review, right? So this is the first objective that you must do, that to find out the factors, to find the factors using SLR.
Madam, one question. If we don't have access to the Scopus database, is it possible to do systematic review?
Actually, this is one way, like Scopus database. Another way you can get is Google Scholar.
Okay, madam.
Google Scholar. That is another, but Web of Science or Scopus is the best to get the papers. This is what I believe. Scopus database is the most simplest. Web of Science is also good, but I always prefer this. Like, let's say impact investing, right? So you
Speaker
will get the
speaker
papers.
speaker.
Sir, please, somebody's mic is on. Can you switch it off? So this is another way you can get the papers from. And this is also a very good website. यहाँ पर the people they have put their PDF also. You can see from here. So you don't need to move here and there to get the PDF files of the papers. So many of the people they put their PDF also. So that is also a very good website that is called as a Google Scholar. So you can find out the papers from here as well.
Ma'am, what is the
Right?
difference? Hello, ma'am.
Hanji, Hanji.
Yeah, ma'am, what's the difference between research question and research objectives?
Research question is based on the research objective only. Research objective is a broader concept, broader term, and on the basis of the this, you will be having the research questions. These are a broader category. Like let's say to find out the motivational factors. So this is one of the research objective, and it will have a certain research questions. Motivational
So,
factors.
so if there are 4 research objectives, there will be 4 research questions.
No, no, it is not like this. Research questions, it is not mandatory that you have to write. You have to write the objective on this will have the hypothesis. You will be writing certain hypothesis on the based on your research objectives.
Okay. So is it mandatory to write research questions also?
No, it is not.
Okay. Thank
It is not. आपने लिख तो दिया research objective. I think this will serve your purpose. Research objective is good enough to write. Research questions तो you write when you write an individual objective when you are talking about it will have a multiple research questions. क्योंकि this is only objectives, right? So it will have every objective will have a multiple questions.
Okay.
Let's
So with
say
each objective, there can be a couple of questions.
yes, each objective will have couple of questions. Like if you're talking about the SLR, that is your systematic literature review, right? तो यहाँ पर you will be writing one of the questions can be to find out the antecedent, decision, and outcome. So this is your one of the research objective. आपका जो है वो main है, उसके बाद research questions है to find out the year of publication. This can be the research questions. So every objective should have a multiple research questions. That will be defined when you are writing each objective. Like जब भी आप एक ऑब्जेक्टिव को लिख रहे हैं यहाँ पर, so it will have like this ना, ये सारा मॉडल, ये सारा जब आप डिफाइन कर रहे हैं तो ये सारा होगा ना आपका यहाँ पर.
Usually, there is a fine line between research question and research objective. So I just wanted to clarify this because it's mostly used very synonymously. So,
Ma'am, in Google Scholar, basically we select the paper which has more citation score. So, is there anything in Scopus like how should we see like that paper is good one and we should read that? Means what is there any criteria for Scopus?
Actually, what you should go for is like the journal that you can identify. Let's say जैसे अभी हमने जो वेबसाइट खोली थी, लेट मी एक मिनट, नहीं ये बनानी था. इसके अंदर ना you get the names of
I got like we have to see the journal name and if the journal is in the good category like A or B,
yes,
then we should
yes,
read.
yes. This is how you have to go for it. Yes. Right. So this is the most important part of any research. thesis, thesis and synopsis, right? And synopsis may, the most important is setting your objective and hypothesis. When if I go for it, so if I want my students, so I want my students to be so much elaborate when they are writing their synopsis, like this objective they should set, and then they should make diagrams like this for something, right? And the next important aspect is research design and methodology, that is proposed. So when we talk about the research design and methodology, it only will be proposed study, because we are not very much sure what is exact tools that we are going to use, but we just propose it. Like, let's say we propose, like, from the models we can see there is a PLSM that we are going to use. So I'll write PLSM. So where we are going to collect the data. So she has written where all she will collect the data, right? So this is only proposed. Statistical tools, conjoint analysis, SEM, she will be using SPSS. So she has just proposed. So when we are writing your synopsis, you have to just propose, and this part is very small. When we talk about research, design, and methodology, it is a very small, because you are just proposing that. And in the last, it comes the chapter wise scheme. So everybody knows first is introduction, then review of literature, research methodology,
Tomorrow.
interpretation, findings, conclusion. This is your for thesis. And in the last comes the references. This is let me take you to this as well. And this is also a very, very important part, that is called as a research gap. Research gap. Okay, review of literature mein to, when you have got a Scopus database paper, so you can quote all of them. Like, you have got we have got around 269 papers, that you can go quote as much as papers that you want. And latest paper, what I will suggest is, try to quote the latest papers. Matlab, now 24 is going on, so you must cite the citations from 2019 to 24. ये तो mandatory है ही है. So you must write, you must quote these papers, and once you have quoted these papers, then you can move down. If you have less of papers for these years, so you can uh, go down for citing those papers. So review of literature mein to, you can got these papers, so you write those review of literature, research gap, and need and significance. So you can write the research gap, because you have already seen the previous papers here. You have already seen the previous papers, and you have seen the previous studies. So what you can do is, like, you can find out the research gap as well, right? So this is need and significance, why this topic is important. So you can write all these things. And so synopsis is very small, and thesis is a huge one, because uh, you will be doing the research, the objectives that you already have. So you are going to find out, for each of the objective, you will be writing one paper for each of the objective. So for my students PhD thesis, this is one of the objective, and she has written like this for this, right? And this is how you go for the thesis writing. Like, you just, whatever your objective is, you go for all your objective, you write papers, different papers for all the objectives, and in thesis you collect all of them and you make it as a thesis. So let me put a stop here. I hope it is clear to all of you. सबको समझ में आया है?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Any query? किसी को कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना है अभी?
Ma'am, how to code the literature review? I want to ask that. How?
Okay. Literature review in our institute, what they tell us is, like, let me tell you. जब initially आप लिख रहे हो ना, तो what you can do is, like, look at this. Like, जब synopsis में लिखते हो, तो you can write it like this straight away. Like, जैसे this is the author, right? This is the author, what it has talked about. So you can write directly, like, the first author's name. What is the name of the first author? These are the authors. So this hand and hand, year 2023 bracket mein what it has talked about, so you can write the abstract, the main part of the abstract, so you can talk about the next, फिर next and next, like this. So like let's say this is the person, right? This is the first author. So in our university it is like this, right? So you need to check, but most of the times you can like write this as well. So let's say this is 2024, right? So talked about impact investing, and the main theme of the paper is like this. ये इसको देख लेना हो रहा, एक मिनट, लेट मी. सो जब आप नाम डालते हो बीच में, इंटेक्स साइटेशन होती है आपकी, नॉर्मली यू राइट इट लाइक दिस. Talked about impact investing, what are the major findings and area, year of study. So you write from this abstract part. So what you can do is like you take the abstract from here and you write the some part of it, not the exact, and don't copy it. So यहाँ पे you can write it like they have talked about the US and the South Africa, and they have identified the factors. You can see the factors they have identified. So like this, you have to write for the next person, fit again for the next. So this is how we write in our institute. This is how we write. Hanji, any question?
Hello, ma'am.
Hanji.
Ma'am, my study is based on the IT select IT companies.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? Is it necessary to show the company profile separately, or else I can add it in the introduction?
Company profile, why it is required?
Because I have selected 12 IT companies.
Okay.
It is necessary to start up with a new chapter, or else I can add up with the introduction.
No, I'm not able to. मतलब आपका topic, what is your topic?
My topic is influence of leadership style, motivation, and work culture and employee performance of select IT companies.
Okay, so you start with leadership and all that, na?
Yeah, ma'am.
And then you can mention about these companies also. Yes, you can mention in the introduction about these companies as well.
Or
आपका जो
else,
sample size है, हाँ?
or else I can show it in separately in the heads of company profile. No.
Yes, you can do that. You have to show it into separate head only,
Yeah.
not combined, into a separate head only. Yes, the
Because
12 companies that you have selected, you that will go into a separate head.
yeah, because I in the introduction just I have given only overview of IT sectors. So in the
Yeah.
company profile, I describe all the 12 companies over there.
Yes, you can do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, I have a similar kind of a use case where I'm doing a research. I am also studying impact of multiple marketing strategies with respect to IT companies. So,
Okay.
do I need to mention the name of the companies and give their introduction? Which type of
Yes,
companies I've selected?
definitely. And even these name of the companies will go into your research methodology part as well. And in the introduction also, you can talk about these companies. Yes, definitely you can talk about these.
Okay, okay. But is it compulsory or can it be optional? Like if the companies have said that we don't want to reveal our confidentiality, but we want to
No, you
participate in the
don't have
survey.
to, no, you don't have to, no, you just have to put only the information that is available on the net. You don't have to put the confidential information. You just have to talk about the basics of those companies. That's it. That the information that is available on the net.
Okay, so the name of the company and what they do. That's it?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Okay, okay ma'am.
Ma'am, I have one query.
Yes.
Hello. Ma'am,
हाँ
we
जी
are going
दीदी.
for if we are going for any secondary data.
Okay.
So from where we get the information regarding that?
NSC historical data you can write and you will get that. So what is, it depends on like there is a MDI गुड़गांव, तो अगर आपको वहां से एक्सेस मिल जाए, वहां पर ये सब सॉफ्टवेयर्स होंगे and you will be easily able to get those paid data.
Latest data which we have, which we want to study, like. want to include in research paper?
क्या?
मैम लाइक आप बता रहे हैं कि जैसे ये साइट पे हमें सेकेंडरी डेटा मिल रहा है
बहुत इजीली
तो
और बहुत अच्छा डेटा मिल जाएगा रिफाइंड फॉर्म में सब।
हाँ जी वही मतलब अगर मुझे अपने रिसर्च पेपर में ये चीज इंक्लूड करनी है लाइक स्टडी करनी है तो मैं इस साइट्स पे जाके डेटा ले सकती
हाँ, तो वो ज्यादा अच्छा रहता है।
हूँ। ओके फाइन।
और मैम कई बार हमें ओके
मैम कैन यू टेल मी द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एब्स्ट्रैक्ट एंड इंट्रोडक्शन?
Abstract is the gist of the all the paper and introduction is different, वो entirely वो एक part है, section of a paper है।
If we are writing any research paper, so we'll give a summary in the abstract.
Summary. Abstract is a summary, yes, of the whole paper.
And okay, and
Introduction is
introduction
about part of it. Introduction is
topic.
just a part of it. Like ये देखो ना, दीप्ति, just let me show you this. ये एक paper है. This is one of the research papers, right? So this is the abstract. This is the summary of my whole paper.
Okay.
This is the summary of my paper, right? And this is introduction. This is only talks about the impact invested.
Okay, fine. हाँ, means हम topic जो ले रहे हैं, we'll explain that particular topic in the introduction.
हाँ.
Abstract में हम पूरी एक summary दें.
Yeah.
एंड मैम कई बार हमें जो डेटा चाहिए होता है वही एग्जैक्ट डेटा वहाँ पे स्टैटिस्टिका एंड वहाँ पे अवेलेबल होता है, तो अगर हम एग्जैक्ट वही डेटा ले रहे हैं तो हमें नीचे मेंशन भी करना होगा ना, या फिर
बिल्कुल,
या
सोर्स को आपको
फिर
मेंशन करना है।
हम पूरा का पूरा वो डेटा अब ले सकते हैं,
कॉपी कर सकते हो, बिल्कुल कर सकते हो।
ओके ओके मैम।
मैम सेकेंडरी डेटा तो आपको कहीं से उठाना ही है, जैसे स्टॉक मार्केट इंडेक्स, एनएससी, बीएससी, वो तो उठाओगे ही ना। सो देयर इज नो अदर वे, उसको कर ही नहीं सकते और कुछ। हाँ जी।
हेलो मैम।
हाँ जी
मैम, जो इंट्रोडक्शन है और लिटरेचर रिव्यू है उसमें क्या डिफरेंस होता है, और लिटरेचर रिव्यू में कोई लिमिट है भी कितने रिसर्च पेपर जो है हमने रीड आउट करने होते हैं और मेंशन करने होते हैं सिनॉप्सिस के लिए?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है। सिनॉप्सिस आपका छोटा ही होता है। अगर आप 6-7 पेजेस का सिनॉप्सिस बना दो, दैट विल बी गुड इनफ। एंड लिटरेचर रिव्यू होता है पास्ट लोगों ने क्या कहा है हर पेपर के बारे में, और इंट्रोडक्शन होता है बेसिक अबाउट दैट टॉपिक। जैसे आप इम्पैक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग लिख रहे हो तो व्हेन ये अगर मैं आपको ना ये पेपर देती हूँ, इम्पैक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग कब शुरू हुआ, उसका क्या मतलब होता है, इसमें आप स्टैटिस्टिक्स भी डाल सकते हो। द एस्टिमेटेड साइज ऑफ द इम्पैक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग मार्केट वाज दिस, व्हाई इट स्टार्टेड। सो बेसिक्स अबाउट इंट्रोडक्शन कंसिस्ट ऑफ द basic about the topic, and review of literature what past people have talked about, that is called as like लोगों ने क्या कहा है, जर्नल्स में जो आर्टिकल्स पब्लिश हुए हैं उसमें लोगों ने डिफरेंट लोगों ने किस टॉपिक्स पे रिसर्च करी है, दैट कंसिस्ट ऑफ योर रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर पार्ट, लिटरेचर रिव्यू।
ओके, थैंक यू मैम।
I think let's put a break here and let's meet tomorrow. I hope everybody is clear with their doubts and all that, and it is you like the session as well, right?
Very nice.
Very interesting.
ठीक है, so let's